Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This will be a review on the 1/6 scale Soos Toys Green Menace figure. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at DKnight333 for plenty of pics und clippage. The artwork on the box is absolutely gorgeous. Perfect, really. Always very impressive artwork on the boxes for their figures. And you lift up the lid of the box and you are met with even more awesome artwork, a very creepy image of the Green Menace. So far, my experience with this figure has been quite unpleasant, and that's probably surprised you to hear that. It's a beautiful nightmare of a piece. That's the only way I can describe it in the very short space of time I've been handling it. I received him today and I had to go out this evening and got back. Then I unboxed him literally just before filming this. I didn't want to film the unboxing part because I didn't feel like it tonight. I just wanted to unbox it myself and enjoy it myself. But it wasn't enjoyable because the first thing I did when I took him out of the box was I held him in my hand and I just wanted to see if the body would crunch like this down to get him in this kind of position, and then you tilt the head up where he's on the glider. And as soon as I went to tilt the head up, it just dropped off because it wasn't on there securely, and it landed on the surface of this desk, which is like a soft leather green surface, and it chipped the paint on his cowl, or sorry, his hood. And the first time it fell, it chipped the paint on the tail end of this little bit coming around here. So right on the end there was just a big section of missing paint, and it's just white underneath. And then it fell again because I was trying to put the head back on and I was pressing it on, and I was waiting for a satisfying kind of click, like a kind of not a sharp click. Often with these 1/6 scale figures, it's more of a kind of thuddy kind of just a satisfying, okay, I know the head is clicked onto the neck peg kind of thing. I didn't get that with this, and it ended up falling again. This time it kind of bounced slightly off the green surface of the leather and then landed on the wood around the edge of the desk. And it chipped the paint on the end of his tail bit here, off the end of the hood. So I had two sections there and one of these on the other side with missing paint, and I had to go off, and 5 minutes out of the box I'm mixing 3 different color paints together, trying to match this perfectly. I did my best, I just kind of gutted at the time. Only just got him on eBay for a pretty good price, I feel, for how nice he looks and probably how limited he'll be. It's by Soos Toys. It's not Sideshow or Hot Toys. It's a third-party figure, so I doubt there's many. Don't think there's that many of these, really, in comparison to the big official releases. So a lot of people are, unhappy about the fact that they painted the head and the neck a different tone of green to his arms and legs, which are much more of a vibrant kind of bright green. But whether it should be this tone or whether it should be this tone, it should be consistent, in all the comics, and people have said it who've reviewed it already. It's very frustrating that the head sculpt and neck is not the same tone as his arms and legs. Although under this lighting, with the the ceiling lighting being nice and warm, and I've got 2 LED lamps on either side of him here coming in from each side, and it's bright enough where at certain angles like there, it's not that far off. I mean, obviously it's not the same, but it's not as bad as I've seen it in other lighting situations. So maybe under the right lighting, you wouldn't really need to have this repainted or try and repaint it yourself. Because I was thinking, before he arrived and I knew he was coming, I started watching everyone's reviews, getting prepared. I thought to myself, well, I might go ahead, once I do the review, I'll just repaint that head and make it the right, because I've got this exact tone of green in paint. But I don't think I'm going to do it, because the bit that scares me is trying to because I wouldn't want to paint over his lips. His lips are painted really nicely. It's a really nice looking figure, and there's a nice amount of shading on the face as well, which I wouldn't be able to do. I don't use airbrushes, I just use paintbrushes, and I don't think I could ever get it looking that nice ever again. And like I say, under the right lighting, it's not that bad. It's not the same exact tone, but it's all right. It's not going to bug me. He still looks like the friggin' Green Goblin from when I was growing up in the 80s and had him on my wall with Spiderman. The comics, I've still got some of those comics, so I'll have to dig them out. But yeah, not happy about the paint chipping so easily on the hood. Very pissed off about that. I wish there just should be some kind of protective coating on there to protect the purple paint. It's really fragile, and the head doesn't click on as satisfactory, is that the word? No, satisfyingly as I would like, especially for a figure that you're going to be doing this kind of movement with a lot. Right, we just fell a third time because I was just about to start filming the bit talking about how frustrating it is trying to get him to stand on this without falling over, or without the legs coming out of these joints on the feet so easily. As soon as you pivot them in, it just comes out. You do get the dynamic rod thing to hold him up though, so that will help you a lot. Thank God for that. But yeah, he just fell again onto carpet, soft carpet, and he's got a smudge now. Smudge type thing now I'll have to fix again. He fell on carpet, for Christ's sake. Well, honestly guys, it has not been a pleasant experience. That 3 falls now. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm gonna have a bloody heart attack in a minute, I swear, and this figure will be the reason that it happened. But look at it, it's friggin' gorgeous. It's absolutely incredible. I think it's a 10 out of 10 as far as how it looks. No doubt about that. I mean, just standing them up like this in your detail for your shelf, whatever this, you know, your display scenario, situation, whatever it is gonna look absolutely incredible. I mean, I got the lighting set up nice. It's working for him. He's looking, the camera friggin' loves him. It really does. I love him, even though he's really pissed me off. Just a beautiful looking piece, man, just beautiful. The boots look a different color from the top half because of the lighting, folks. It's just the light's not hitting his boots very well. You can see in the shadows on his right side under his arm there, how the shadows are making it look darker. It's just the way it is. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh, there he is. That is stunning. Tilt the head down, get him looking really sinister. That's how you do it. Have you seen the Stephen King movie Maximum Overdrive, is it? 80s movie with an all AC/DC soundtrack, and it's a bunch of vehicles and machinery come to life and start killing humans. And on the front of a massive black 18-wheeler truck, I think it is. It's been a while since I've seen it, but there's a massive green Menace, we'll say, for reasons. But that face is on the front of the massive 18-wheeler. It just looks so intimidating. Beautiful figure. Look at it. Look at it. It's freaking amazing. I can't wait to see Spider-Man standing beside him. Spider-Man's over there in the background looking over thinking, it's go time. My nemesis is here. And he is Spidey. And the way he's been behaving since he arrived, I can't wait to see you kick his ass. As easy as it is to get distracted by just how impressive he looks, you do just have to really reiterate how careful you have to be when you are working with those ankles and trying to get him on the glider. Once you start to pivot them inwards, they will just kind of pop off and he will fall unless he's supported by his kind of dynamic stand clamp thing. Be very careful, folks. I've learned the hard way. He's still fine though. I've pissed off about the scuff that's on the top here now from the third fall onto really soft carpet. I just wouldn't expect it to do any damage, but it has. So yeah, frustrating figure to say the least, but definitely a very, very impressive looking one. In total, you get 6 hands. You get 2 for holding onto the little pumpkin bomb things, 2 fists and 2 relaxed hands. And the satchel and the belt, same colour. Decent feeling synthetic leather, whatever it is they've used. It looks like leather but doesn't really feel like it. Really nice material on the torso here. And the arm material and the leg material, this suit carries on underneath the purple section. Like if you pull this down, I don't want to get my fingers caught. I don't want to, you can just see a little bit of it there. It does continue, which does hinder the articulation a fair bit, to be honest with you. Separation at the ankles with the boots for articulation there. Keep thinking of Aquaman whenever I see that. Beautiful piece though. Base is a lovely colour, matches the figure very well, and has a really nice green Menace logo or bit of artwork in the middle there. Very nice. No name, just the visual. The dynamic rod kind of screws in there. You can tighten the screw, tighten that and reposition it. Alright, so I'm just trying to mess around with the lighting and try and get this head sculpt looking as good as possible. It doesn't take much. It's a really, really nice looking sculpt. Great paintwork too. Not just a flat green, quite a nice amount of different kind of skin tone action going on there. Kind of slightly more highlighted around his cheekbones and coming down to the chin, but darker in the kind of recesses around the eyes and all that good stuff. Let's just get him looking up a bit. So I love the way the teeth look. They're really well done, very real looking. I'll just turn him to the side a little bit. Yeah, I just love it, man. I think the mouth, the grin, the gums, the teeth, the lips look very convincing, very real, look great for photography. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you still seeing this footage? Are you still as pissed off about the difference in color between the head and neck and the actual arms? Because I think under the right kind of lighting it helps a lot. I think still doesn't excuse that weird decision, obviously, but I'm not having the issue bother me that much so far. When you land on one of those poses, not that this is much of a pose or anything, but just one of those moments with a figure and you don't want to touch it because you think, I have to get as many pictures of this as I can right here as it is set up. Don't touch the camera, don't touch the figure, don't touch the lights. Just get as many snaps as you can, because that just looks to me like something special, like a special angle, special moment. It's just the way it's lit, the light catching. I wish the light was hitting this eye over here a bit more. The way his teeth look, the way the light's catching his eye over here, the nice glow of the ears as well, like from the light hitting it from behind. Really creepily real looking. It's a shame that you have to see my fingers, because if I could get them to just move around like this, look how creepy that looks. Imagine his cackly laugh. Man, that is so cool. Oh, it's good. It's good. Well, that looks pretty awesome, but it was hard to do. The foot on, that one is not connected to the ankle anymore. It's just resting in place, because you go to fix one, the other one comes off. You fix that one, the other one comes loose, and back and forth you go. Very frustrating, but most of this stuff you can come back at me and just say, if you took more time, it wouldn't be a problem. You just have to have the patience. I do have patience, and I got the time tonight. That's why this review's happening. I've been sitting here with the piece, just trying not to be negative, trying not to be too harsh on it, but just telling you the simple facts of my experience. Not lying, not holding back, just telling you. Beautiful, 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 can't be said enough. Beautiful piece. are very, very tricky to work with and very high risk with danger of damage. You know, just be very careful with that head sculpt effect there with the glider kind of blasting off. You really do need to use... You could get him to balance without the assistance of the stand at the back, but you can't leave him like that. I had him balanced before I started shooting the review. I was going to start off with a nice epic gliding pose, and then he fell forward. And you just got to be super careful because it's just the nature. And plus, because the front of his feet turn up the way they do, he's not very good at standing on his own either, you know, because he doesn't have that extra support of his toes being in front of him, you know. So he will fall forward a lot. And you have to compensate that with weight at the top, kind of leaning him back a bit and trying to get him to balance that way, and that just leads to more problems. So always use a stand with this guy. I would like to get, eventually I got in touch with Stony Stands, and he's a custom stand maker for figures on Instagram, does amazing stuff. I've seen the ones he's done for Spidey over there, who's still looking over at Green Goblin thinking, yeah, enjoy your 15 minutes. It's on tonight. Once I leave the room, turn off the lights. It's going to be pretty brutal. But that just looks beautiful. It really does, folks. This is the best Green Goblin 1/6 scale figure on the market right now, I think. Even though we're supposed to call him the Green Menace, but you know how we do. It's Green Goblin, and I think it's the best so far. A very frustrating best, but it's just visually stunning, visually perfect. I mean, in this lighting right now, the head sculpt doesn't look that far off. Well, I guess it does. I keep saying that, but it just doesn't seem too bad to me. You know? I think it looks alright. Anyway, let's change up this pose a little bit. We'll save Spidey, but I really can't wait to have him beside Spider-Man. I think the colours are going to just bounce off each other and complement so well. So much awesome vibrancy and nostalgic tingles. Before I change it, I'll just get a little bit more of this angle down here. It's absolutely amazing. Alright folks, I tried to get him to crouch down a little bit lower, but as soon as you go to bend the knees, the feet will just come loose from the ankles, and they're not even attached anymore, so it's just kind of balancing. So I think the way I had him looking before was pretty decent. It's not as good now. Alright guys, I'm going to give you my final thoughts and a score out of 10. Tricky one to score for such an impressive looking figure. Very frustrating to work with, and very disappointed with how easy it was to damage his hood and having to repaint it so soon out of the box. I'm simply just trying to maneuver the head around. But I feel like giving it maybe... It's got to be higher than a 7. 7's good, 8 is very good, 9 is excellent, 10's a masterpiece. I would say it's very good. I'll give it an 8. You know, as long as you're careful, learn from my mistakes. And yeah, you got yourself a good 8.5, something like that. It's definitely a very good figure, and if you got a Spider-Man collection, definitely get this. But just be damn careful. But there's no denying he stands out, man. The colours are so different from anything else in this room. There's no one else that looks like him, and I can't wait to show you just the next few videos, man. Like I said, we'll get Spidey involved next. And then the last video will be Green Goblin and Spider-Man, how I choose to display them on the shelf and where I put them. And I'll show you how that works out. But yeah, I give him like an 8 out of 10. I feel that's pretty fair for something like this. I mean, just be careful. It's a situation where I'm definitely going to get him a custom stand, like I said, from Stony Stands. The colours on the stand they give you is beautiful, but the only option you get to hold him up is this, and that is going to be, you know, for just a standing pose like that, it's going to look hideous. I don't want that sticking up behind him, but I don't trust him to stand up on his own because of his turned up toes at the end. It just doesn't help with stability. So I will get him a custom base at some point, and then I'll get one for Spidey too, so they both look nice together. So yeah, 8 out of 10, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you are subscribed, and hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. That way you'll get emails every time I upload a new video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so for as little as $1 a month on Patreon. And I'll stick your name at the end of every video, just like the credits of a movie. Keep it locked on the channel. Got the big one coming up between this one right here and Spider-Man himself. Can't wait to bring you that video. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.